They saw something impossible. 3 shocking supernatural reports. There are moments in history where ordinary people witnessed something that science cannot explain. 3 stories you are about to hear were not invented for entertainment. They were documented, investigated, and remain a mystery to this day. The question isn't whether these events actually happened. The question is, what did these people really see? They saw something impossible. And today, we are going to explore these 3 reports together. Stay with us until the end. And if you like mysteries that challenge logic, hit the subscribe button on the channel, because stories like these appear every week right here. The Roswell Incident, 1947. June 1947, New Mexico, a remote desert region where few human beings venture. A farmer named William Mack Brazel was on his property when he noticed something strange scattered on the ground. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a balloon. The material seemed to be everywhere, an area of nearly a kilometer. He picked up some fragments. They were light, but abnormally resistant. When he touched them, something was different. The metal, if it was metal, didn't dent. It didn't break. It simply didn't behave like any material he knew. Brazel took the fragments to the local sheriff. The sheriff, perplexed, forwarded the situation to the Roswell Army Airfield, which was just 120 kilometers away. What happened next changed everything. The airbase issued an official press release stating they had recovered a flying disc. Yes, those were the exact words. A flying disc had crashed on American soil. But 24 hours later, that statement was retracted. The official version became, it was just a weather balloon. Nothing special. Just a routine experiment that had crashed. But here is the problem. The fragments Brazel had collected disappeared. The military personnel who investigated the site signed non-disclosure agreements, promising never to speak about what they saw. For decades, soldiers, officers, and scientists kept silent. Until in 1997, exactly 50 years later, some of these men began to speak. One of them was a colonel named Philip Corso. He revealed that the fragments were not from any balloon. He described a material with properties that do not exist in any known terrestrial technology, properties that suggest a completely alien origin. The question remains, why did the government hide the truth? And more importantly, what really crashed in Roswell that night?
The Rendlesham Forest Incident, 1980. December 1980, England. An American military base in Rendlesham Forest. This night was unlike any other. 3 American soldiers were on patrol when they saw a strange light descending from the sky. It wasn't a plane, it wasn't a helicopter. The light was too bright, moving in ways no aircraft should move. The soldiers, all of them experienced, trained in threat recognition, were confused. They called for backup. More men arrived. Soon there was an entire team of military personnel chasing this light in the middle of the forest. And then it stopped. The light descended behind the trees in a remote area of the forest. Several soldiers went after it. What happened in the next few minutes has no clear explanation. One of the soldiers, named Larry Warren, described what he saw. It wasn't a disc, it wasn't round. It had a triangular shape with blue and red lights. And there were symbols engraved in the metal, symbols that none of us recognized. The soldiers tried to approach it. The thing took off. It moved in a way that defied physics. It accelerated instantly. It disappeared. In the following days, the military searched the area where the object had landed. What did they find? Markings on the ground in a perfect triangular pattern. 3 landing points, as if something extremely heavy had rested there. The soldiers were ordered not to talk about the incident. Documents were classified. Witnesses were intimidated. But Larry Warren did not stay silent. He wrote a book. He gave interviews. He claimed that what they saw that night was not of human origin. The question here is, if this was a weather balloon or something mundane, why did the American and British governments spend so much effort to classify the information? Why intimidate soldiers? Why burn records? The answer suggests a truth they did not want the world to know.
The Varginha Incident, 1996. January 20th, 1996. Minas Gerais, Brazil. Varginha is a small, quiet city. Nobody expected anything extraordinary to happen there. A woman named Liliane da Silva was returning home when she saw something that changed her life forever. A creature. It wasn't a common animal. It wasn't human. Liliane described long, black hair, reddish skin, large, red eyes that seemed to glow. The creature was in a ditch at the edge of a river. It had 3 fingers on each hand, rough skin like a reptile, and exuded a repulsive odor. Liliane started screaming. Other people came. Soon there was a crowd trying to understand what they were seeing. Someone called the police. When the police arrived, the creature had disappeared. But the reports didn't stop there. More people began to report similar sightings. Entire families swore they had seen the same creature or similar ones at different points in the city during that week. Here is where it gets weird. 2 days after the incident, the Brazilian army appeared in Varginha. They didn't say why. They began searching. They swept the region. They interrogated witnesses. They ordered silence. One of the men who participated in the military operation was a major named Filomeno C. Philadelpho. Years later, in a confidential interview, he revealed, "We captured something. It wasn't of known origin. The orders were to keep it in absolute secrecy and deliver it to an international agency." Other witnesses confirmed. Brazilian soldiers captured the creature. What happened to it afterward? Nobody knows. But here is the most disturbing part. A week later, one of the women who had seen the creature up close, named Eunice de Souza, died. Officially, the cause was unknown. Her body was cremated quickly, without a proper autopsy. Coincidence? The Varginha community doesn't believe it. To this day, that city remains shrouded in mystery. Locals talk about the incident with fear. Ufological researchers continue collecting reports. But the truth? The truth is still hidden. The question that remains is, what did the Brazilian army capture that day? And why such haste to hide it? Why silence witnesses? 3 reports, 3 continents, 3 moments in history where ordinary people saw something they cannot explain. The world's governments say they are coincidences, hallucinations, misinterpreted natural phenomena. But have you ever stopped to think, why do so many governments have secrets about these events? If there really wasn't anything, why classify documents? Why intimidate witnesses? Why isolate information? The truth, somewhere between these 3 reports, exists. And perhaps, just perhaps, we are very close to discovering it. If you believe there are mysteries that science has yet to unravel, if you think there is more to the universe than what we are told in school textbooks, then you are in exactly the right place. Here on the channel, we explore the stories that nobody wants to talk about, the evidence that has been hidden, the cases that remain unanswered. Subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. And leave a comment below. Which of these 3 reports do you think is the most convincing? Why? Thank you for watching until the end. And remember, the truth is out there. We will find it together. See you in the next video. Bye.